So Jacquemus released his Spring 2020 ready-to-wear collection sometime in June. I like said collection. I'm going to make pieces inspired by said collection. So when I say inspiration, I mean exactly that. None of these pieces that I am making are intended to be direct replicas of some of the pieces in the show, so just keep that in mind. So I have about 6 DIYs I want to cover in the least amount of time possible, so we're just gonna get straight into it. DIY numero uno. So with DIY number 1, we're gonna start small. We're gonna give ourselves permission to progress and to grow throughout this video. So the first thing I'm gonna make is earrings. So as I mentioned previously, keyword for this video, inspiration. If you look at the picture, the earrings are a single bar and then the beads cascade from there. But I don't want to go out and buy more things than I already have. So I just decided to use pins, jewelry pins, and we're gonna work from there. So I started with a triangle to give the earrings some form of structural integrity. And then I, using the pliers, twisted each eye pin into each other, and in the bottom layer of the eye pin I did an interchanging pattern of chain, silver bead, chain, silver bead, chain, silver bead, chain, silver bead, and then I closed the last 2 pins together. Of course you add your earring hook using the jump ring, and that is it. I'm gonna make a glasses holder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy the cloth neck sash thing, but then we're gonna find a way to attach it here. So I'm probably gonna use chain and a lobster clip. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to add stiff to mine. You don't have to if you don't have stiff.
Missing someone with all your heart. Missing someone with heart. How much you miss it, and you miss it. And you miss it, and you miss it, and you did it right from the start.
DIY numero 3. There were a lot of bucket hats in the show, so we're gonna make a bucket hat. This particular bucket hat is gonna have drawstrings because I don't have a bucket hat with drawstrings and I want one. So I'm going to use a pre-existing pattern. I'll put a link in the description for the site that I used to help create the pattern because I'm not going to go over that in the video. So I sewed these little tabs, which I'm going to add to the inside of the hat, and that is where I am going to attach the ties. So I made the ties by taking a piece of rectangular material, folding it in half, ironing that down, opening it, and then folding one end of it towards the crease we just created, ironing that down, and folding the opposite end into the same crease, iron that down, and then when you close it, you sew it down the middle. As simple as that. One thing that I'm realizing that I never showed, which I should explain, is how I sewed the inner part of the bucket hat and the outer part of the bucket hat together. Is you put right sides together and then you sew around the edge of the bucket hat, but you leave a small space which you can turn the bucket hat inside out, and then you sew around the edge of the bucket hat to close the opening. So I made a drawstring closure. The way I basically made it was I took a small piece of rectangular material and then folded one end towards the middle, sewed it down, and then folded the other end towards the middle and sewed it down as well. I'm gonna put the ties through this drawstring an equal length before I attach the ties to the tabs we created on the inner part of the bucket hat. So in the collection there was this dress, this beautiful, beautiful dress. And one of the details on the dress was a tie-up halter neck thing that was just left to hang over. It wasn't actually being tied. So I decided to make a tank top and give that tank top the same dreams and aspirations as that detail on that dress. So in order to make the pattern for this piece, I took a pre-existing tank top, I folded it in half and then laid it on the edge of this pattern paper. I traced it out, and because the reference tank top that I was using had stretch, I had to adjust the pattern because the material I was using to make the top did not have stretch. So I took my bust, waist, and hem measurements. By hem measurement I mean where I wanted the tank top to end, the measurement of that place. I divided that by 4 and then I used my tape measure and extended the pattern outward. I then completed the pattern by joining those measurements, cut it out, placed it on my material on a fold. I placed it on a fold on the material and cut it out. What you want to do is cut 2 pieces of material that are going to cover the length of your back. Then you're going to sew them together and create a channel. And then you're going to put the elastic through the channel, and on one side sew the elastic down and then pull it and sew it down on the opposite side and then attach it to the front piece that we created previously. So next we're going to make this wrap belt sash thing that's around her waist. I cut out a rectangular piece of material where the longer side is my waist measurement plus 15 inches. If you want it to gather more, you might want to add more than 15 inches. And then for the length of the top, I took the measurement from where I wanted it to fit on my waist until where I wanted it to end, which was for me 12 inches. Cut out 2 pieces of that material, sewed them together, turned it inside out, sewed round the edge to close it, and then created a channel through which we're going to put our ties by folding the top and the bottom. I then put my ties through the channels using safety pins. Unfortunately, the first safety pin I used wasn't so safe. The second safety pin I used was way too small, and the third one was just right. I moved it around until they were somewhat equal lengths on each side. If you look at the picture in the front, one side is flat and then the gathering goes all the way around, and then on the opposite side it's also similar. So I'm gonna sew this down here and on this side and then pull on the other side to gather it.